We got it on the first try. Oh my goodness. Facebook, how are you doing? I hope you are ready. I hope you are ready. I hope you are ready. All I'm fit to say is that it is about to go down. So it is day 23 of the World Voice Summit. And I found that today is probably one of the best days like ever. I'm being excited every day. I've loved every day. Don't get me wrong. Every day has been an amazing experience and opportunity. But guess what? Our teens are doing a special teen panel today, and they are holding nothing back, guys. They're not holding back. Talking about Jussie Smollett and everything that's going on with him. They're not holding back talking about what's going on in the schools, about Payless closing. Listen, whatever it is that they have that's going to come out as they're speaking, they're going to be respectful, of course, because that's what we raise respectful teens, but they are not holding anything back. And it's interesting because so many times we want to shut their mouths because we feel as though that they're not capable of understanding what's really going on, that they don't really have an opinion, or that their voices aren't strong enough to make change happen. But just this year, last year, we saw them do a national walkout. So we know that their voice is powerful. We know that they have something to say, and that they have strong opinions about what's going on in the world around them. We have to understand that the teens are going to be the ones that are going to be running all of this. They're going to be the ones that will be in position to make sure that we have health care and that our elderly is taken care of, and all of the different things that are going on. Guess what? They're going to be the next in position to be able to handle those things. And like I said, it's no holds bar. Whatever they discuss is whatever they discuss. We got a couple topics for them to start on, but man, it may go left or right at any given time. So with that being said, those of you who are catching this via the replay, make sure that you share this out. Share it out simply because somebody somewhere on your timeline may need this information. They may know a teen or two that may need this information. So I'm going to get them ready. And what I'll do is, as each of them are coming in, we're going to have them introduce themselves to you guys so that way you know who they are, and then we'll get started with the topics for today. So y'all can come on in. I was like, which way are you?
Yeah.
You got your teeth?
My teeth's right here.
Oh, can you hear me that? It's mom.
Oh yeah, they gonna need their tea.
We don't spill tea in this household.
We don't spill it. We just sip.
We sip tea. So start off with you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Jayla. Hi, I'm Tiandra.
Hi, I'm Aaliyah. Oh, and we're the daughters of the crazy unicorn.
Yes. I'm the sister, actually.
Oh, sister slash
Technically,
daughter.
you are.
Yeah, it's croissant. It's weird connection. Yeah.
And then also have Andrew and Joseph Joe introduce themselves.
Okay. So
let them know they can come off of mute and introduce.
You can come off.
Yeah, you can come off of mute and come and introduce yourselves.
So, my name is Andrew. I don't know what to say, but yes, my name is Andrew.
Did Joe come off mute? Is Joe hiding? Oh wait, he didn't come in yet. Hold on. We got you, Joe. We didn't forget about you. All right, and then Joe gonna come in. Joe come in and introduce himself when he comes in.
Okay.
I don't know how to work Facebook.
This isn't Facebook.
Oh, I don't know how to work Zoom.
Where's Joe?
Like right here.
Where's Joe?
Oh,
there you go.
So in that.
my name is Joseph Cotton. I'm the son of the Butterfly Experience. My mother is Dorothea Robinson, and the brother of Andrew.
Awesome. So, as teens,
we supposed to say our ages?
Oh, we can. You can let them know how old you are.
Oh, Jayla! Oh my god. Wait, I got it.
Technical
Go ahead.
difficulties. Go ahead, Jay.
Okay, so I am 14. I'm 16.
And I'm 16.
I'm 17.
And I'm 16.
Awesome.
Going on
Okay,
18
so
September.
as a team, guys, let's go right into the topic. Let's go right in. Jussie Smollett.
Explain further, please.
So we know that Jussie Smollett, not too long ago, had made this claim that he had been jumped and that racial slurs and homophobic slurs were said to him by two people who were wearing MAGA hats, Make America Great Again hats. And we just recently found out that apparently it was all a lie. It was a stunt for him to be able to possibly, allegedly get more money or get more fame. How do you feel about that?
You know, I feel like honestly, during maybe I think 3 years ago, Empire was at like its prime, and now you notice that like it's nobody really watches it anymore. I think he also noticed this, and in an attempt to gain recognition or maybe attention, which thus brings money, I guess he wanted to like get some attention from the public, and I guess he went about it the wrong way.
I don't see the point in it. I feel like he put a bad image on the LGBT community and the Black community. So I don't know what his point was doing it, but yeah.
You can start.
Oh, okay.
I was like, who's
So, I feel like I'm upset about it, not because like everyone's like, oh, he was doing it for attention, everything else. It's just how we were all so willing to like believe it because he is, because of just who he is. He's, well, he was saying that they were using racial slurs, coming at him because he was gay and everything else. I just how it was so believable that we were accepting to it because of how terrible it was and how terrible we know people can be. It's just, it's difficult that he would, well, it's just hard because you just think he would not go so far, like, and using different excuses to try to get more money. Just how he was able to go so far and like build this whole story off of like the critical things in our country.
Oh, I guess I'm next.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say I'm upset. I'm mad at his actions because what Aaliyah said, like we were so willing to give into it. And knowing that he's on that type of pedestal, he used his pedestal that people are giving him and he completely twisted it. And it's just not right. I don't like the idea. I don't like the fact that he went as far as he did in using not even the passive like racial slurs or anything like that, just knowing that what we still go through as African Americans, him using that is just ridiculous, honestly. And I'm really upset at it. I guess I'm like I'm not really into wasn't really into the case. Yeah,
Yeah, really
into
know.
the case. I didn't really know him, but when I heard the story, I was a little shocked because it's like, how can we trust if someone like said that and then they lied about it? How can we trust someone else? If they have the same issue, the same problem, they're actually telling the truth. How can we know it's true?
Exactly.
I honestly wouldn't say that I was mad about it. I just do. I wouldn't say I was mad. I mean, people make mistakes. I mean, Chris Brown made his mistake. A lot of celebrities make their mistakes, all from this desire for money. But I wouldn't say I was mad. I mean, it was kind of like you all said, a wrong way to use your the attention that you have. But I wouldn't say it made me mad.
So with that being said, what do you think the repercussions should be for what he did?
Oh, cool.
I feel like he should get the same consequences that the people who supposedly did the crime, like the hate crime, he should get the same consequences that they should have gotten.
Well, I wouldn't agree with that because he didn't do what they allegedly did. So I mean, that wouldn't be like, kind of, ethical or formal in the court of law. But I would say I would leave it to the law because I'm not one to say what one's punishment should be. But honestly, I would leave that to a judge.
Do you want me to start again?
Yeah.
I feel like before you could start trying to figure out what the repercussions or consequences should be, you should think about what actual damage he did. In the sense that he had people becoming fearful of walking down the street, being Black, being gay. He had people have that fear come up inside them, like that was building in just them being themselves or trying to be themselves. So like he caused many people to become self-conscious of themselves. He caused many people to become fearful and to not want to be confident in who they are, whether that's gay, straight, Black, white, Mexican, purple. And he had people become confident in themselves. And I think to find the consequence or the repercussions and to truly look at how everyone feels about it and how everyone feels he should be held accountable for this,
I totally agree. I totally agree with what you're saying. I mean, there's nothing really much they can do at this point because yeah, he lied, but like, there's nothing much unless they dig down deeper into it to see what's going on. But other than that, they really can't do much, and it kind of sucks to know that there's not a lot we can do unless getting into the process and seeing how everybody else feels about it.
I don't really know. Like again, I wasn't really familiar with the person of the case, but I mean, I feel like I agree with Aaliyah that. I mean, it depends on how everyone feels about how they react to what happened.
And there's a person in the comments who said that there was a lot of money and time wasted investigating this false case. So that also has to be taken into account when trying to find a reasonable consequence from,
Honestly. I was just like, I thought she was asking another question, but
Oh, y'all all went through?
yes.
My bad. Okay, so now let's take it to the next step. As teens, now is the time where you start looking at getting a job and going to college. And so my question is, look, everybody picked up their cup. My question is, how do you feel about getting a quote unquote regular job? And so let's give a definition of what a regular job would be. Regular job would be Starbucks, McDonald's,
yeah, people work at Starbucks.
KFC, Taco Bell, Payless. Well, now they're closed.
Stop. I was gonna say Toys R Us, but they closed too. Rest in peace.
Yeah, Toys R Us, they're closed too. So
You want some tea? Spilling.
So what is your thought pattern when it comes to getting a quote unquote regular job with so many different options that are available?
Oh, you'll go ahead because you're close because you get your job. So go ahead.
I personally, I would want to get a job, not in the sense of, oh, I'll make this money or anything like that, any crazy thing. It's just, I would want to like go into that working business just to experience working with different people who might not like me, people who think, oh, like just trying to deal with different people and working on my people skills, and also having the profit of getting money in return. So like just having that experience.
So you're one of those. Honestly, I wouldn't say there's nothing wrong with getting a quote unquote regular teenage job. I mean, I don't do people. So that whole working at McDonald's, Starbucks, all that wonderful thing, every thought of a teenager is, it's that money making time. But like at the end of the day, it's like, where's it really going? Like us as teenagers, we spend it on stupid stuff. So I mean, it's nothing wrong with getting a teenage job. Personally, I want to work at a library because it's quiet and it's more simple. And I guess that's my type of area. So I wouldn't say there's nothing wrong with it. It's just me personally, I can't handle it because I just don't do people. So
I'm like, I wouldn't like getting a quote unquote normal job because we're not normal. Means like when
wow, thanks. Thanks.
I mean, it's true.
What?
When our mother said,
that?
"Oh, what do you think about normal jobs?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I really want to be a dance teacher. Get some money off of that and stuff like that." She was like, "No, normal jobs." I'm like, "Oh wait, we're not normal. Sorry." So I'm like, I really normal
Thanks.
jobs like working at McDonald's and stuff like that. It's just not fit for me. It's not the things that I want to do because it's not something that I'm gonna enjoy doing.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, being a teenager and having a job, I would say, well, I'm a very diligent person. During the summer, I was working 2 jobs from 7 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. I would say I definitely didn't go into it for the same reason that Leah did. I went in mainly for the money because, as a teenager, you want things. You want nice things and you want your own things. And I wanted a lot of things. And after a while, I'm like, maybe I should start, buying stuff for myself. And I went out and I sought out for a job. I printed a really long resume, got help passing it out. I went all the way out to Paoli, giving out resumes. And there was a couple places that accepted me, but only one of them were local. And I could have took that one local job, but I also took the second one all the way out in Paoli, the YMCA, as a camp counselor. And I was bringing a lot of money, but that's not the point. Point is, I would say working a job is, there's a lot less flexibility on my part. I mean, you got to commit to your hours, you got to be on time, you got to be up. Yeah, and it just is, and doing and working a job during school is not easy. I mean, it's doable, but it's not easy. And I would say that, it's nice to have the money because, I'm a creative person and I like getting people stuff. But I would say after a while, a long time, it can get tiresome and a little annoying. Like you would really need a break. I had a break, but not the way that you would want. I got really, really sick. You can ask my mom. I was in the hospital last week because I was working so much that I didn't give my body a rest that it needs. So I would say that's something you need to look out for. And like I said, back to all the way back to Jesse Smollett thing, we're all after money. And so that's what my eye was stuck on the money. I wasn't taking care of my health. So yeah, I say working a regular job is very tiresome and not flexible at all.
I feel like working a regular job isn't bad. It depends on like what you're gonna use it for, because you can't be working a regular job for too long. So like invest the money into a business to so it can be easier for you in the future. That's how I see it. I don't see a regular job as a bad thing.
Well, there was a person who would we rather work or start our own business. So, is that tea? Tea.
There's no tea over here. I'm chilling.
Would you rather?
Yeah, Jay,
Oh,
I'm
okay,
sorry,
you
person.
start.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would rather start my own business because I rather trying to figure out how to say this. I'd rather start something of my own and be able to build on it and eventually have something bigger in the future, like when I'm an adult, than work at a job and then I'm not fully there. Well, I'm not going to be there when I get older as an adult. It's not something that I'm always going to be working with.
Accurate. For me, I'd rather I'd rather start my own business because like I'd rather know how things work and be able to know that I'm pushing myself to the limit. Like, yeah, having working is fine, but that's not making yourself go farther for what you want. So in order to like making your own business will push you like that's grinding the whole way through, like no doubt about it. But working, yeah, it's grinding supposedly. In my eyes, it's not really, but it's just pushing yourself for that next step, knowing that this is what you want to do and this is what you will continue to keep doing. And as you're an adult, or even when you're not an adult, even if you want to start now and then stop when you're like 24, perfectly fine. But just knowing that you made something out of nothing. Word.
I'm gonna be the weird one. I believe that you can. Okay, so mainly I feel like you would start your own business to like pursue your own passions and to pursue the problems that you feel aren't being pursued. But then I also believe that there are some jobs out there for people who do have certain passions. Like if I love the arts, like I love acting, singing, dancing. And if I go out and I start my own business, I start my own acting career, my own acting school, or I start my own theater or something like that, then that'll be me building on my passion. But then also like me taking a job, me going to Broadway or me going on different shows, that'll be me taking a job but still pursuing my passion. It'll just be in a different way. So I feel like you could do both and still find a way to like pursue your passions. And like if you feel like you're not really, there isn't really a place for your passion, then that's when you really set apart to start that business and to pursue your own passion. So yeah.
So
Yeah, they asked in the comments, if you could start your own business, what would it be?
Okay, so we'll add that on to the other question.
All right, we're gonna let Joe speak. Thank you, Lisa.
Actually, it's for me. It's hard to choose because making your own business, there's a lot of stuff to take into account. You don't know whether you have the time, whether you have the material, whether you have the resources, the people, the connections. There's a lot more to take into account rather than just working a regular job. If you qualify for the position, you got it. There's money coming in. But with starting a business, that's long term, definitely long term. Your money's not guaranteed for sure, unless you have a good idea. There's just a lot more stuff to think about and worry about, and you got to make sure if your idea is good enough to get people's attention. There's a lot, and you got to wait. But it definitely is. If your idea works out, it definitely is a better way to make money, knowing that. But depending on your product or service, you can have passive income, like you can be making money while you're asleep. There's a lot. It's just a lot to take into account. So as of now, I would say I'm comfortable with having a regular job because for one, I don't think I have the knowledge to start a business or the material or the connections of the people. But in the future, like after I go to college or gaining that understanding in this particular subject, I would say I would more than definitely probably start a business. What was the question that she asked? Oh,
if you can start your own business, what would it be?
If I had to start one now, I'd definitely work alongside my brother because I'm more than sure that two people will probably be better than one. And us together, we're both pretty creative, like you, Aaliyah. We're both pretty creative with the arts. Like we're good at photography. He's funny. really funny. So if we did YouTube, that would be considered self-employment. I'd probably say right now it'd be photography because we both love fashion. Like we were going to start I bought a camera just yesterday. We were going to start taking pictures of like different outfits and all that and seeing like, and in my mind I'm thinking possibly this could be something for us. Like after a while we could be sponsored by different brands. And I'm not trying to jinx myself, but we could be. It's possible for sure. So I would say photography for now with me and my brother.
Yeah, basically what he said.
He said, what was the question? Well, should I restate the? Okay, so the first question was, would you rather start your own business or would you work a job? And then if you could start your own business, what would it be?
Andrew.
So you said, I'm sorry, can you please repeat it?
What do you think is better? Working a regular job with having an employer or being self-employed? And if you had to be a self-employed, what business would you start? Like in what industry or what business?
I'd rather be self-employed, and if I had to start my own business, it'd be photography. Basically what Joseph said.
Yes.
Huh? Oh, we didn't say what business we were gonna start.
Oh, that's what turned your host for now.
You wanna?
Jalen, no, we go.
Yeah, we're gonna start with you, Jayla.
Okay, if I had a small business, it would be a dance company.
Oh,
And why? Because I like dancing and I want to be a choreographer.
No, that was no tea or nothing. I honestly had to call. I honestly had to call. That was no tea, no shade, nothing. I just had to really cough, like really bad. If I had to start a business, I don't know. I do a lot of things. Photography is one. Drawing's another one. Singing and dancing is another one. It's really bad because I have a really creative mindset. Well, it's nothing bad with having a creative mindset, but it's just a lot. So I really wouldn't know what to do if I had my own business because it would be all different things in one. So I don't know. I would just.
They're all simple and easy. You just had this whole paragraph.
Yeah.
Because I honestly wouldn't know what to do because I'm a very, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I'm a very creative child. So.
Just throw that out there.
Yeah, nothing. No tea, no shade, nothing. Just facts. So no, I'm joking. Yeah, and if I were to start my own business, I wouldn't work beside these two. I'm joking. I would work besides their mom because she's more experienced with having her own business than I am. So I wouldn't know what to do. Because yeah, I don't have the brains to do my own business. So jeez. I'm just saying, like I have the knowledge, but not the knowledge to know how to start my own business and how to make it grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just I would just confuse myself. So
okay.
You want to be able, we call it staying in your zone of greatness, walking in your zone of greatness.
That's
you
when
want to be
y'all-
able to just
when-
do what it is
yeah.
that you do.
And when you know that
And
other
somebody
people
else
does
do the rest.
you just have to bring other people. Hey, you know how to. Come on, you know you want to join.
Exactly.
But okay. I think I would want to, like I said before, not like my own theater. That's a lot, but like have maybe like a safe environment or like community for people who enjoy singing, dancing, acting, because like for generally for people my age, and I'd even be bashed for like saying, oh, I want to pursue the arts, because they're like, you really think you're going to be successful? Like, I just want to have a safe environment for people who want to do the same thing that I want to do. Yeah.
Okay.
No. I wasn't saying that you were gonna be. That's not what I was saying.
No,
You're
dying.
into tears. It's so emotional.
Oh,
You're
Alright,
tears.
I definitely was not
Okay,
dying.
I'm done.
2 seconds ago, wasn't dying or
Y'all
anything.
are a mess.
Wasn't
So
dying.
let's talk about it. Next topic. Next on the docket.
What was that?
Social media, positives and negatives.
We love social media.
No, I don't.
Great.
Great, right?
Yeah.
You're great. Who's gonna start? Because I don't want to.
No, let's be honest. Talk about the topic that came up this morning.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I guess I'll start.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah.
A positive. What is there's a lot of positive about social media, but there's also a lot of negative. Okay, a positive would have to be just people being able to express themselves, you know, like the pictures, the content, you know, all that great stuff. That's what I like, because that's what I do on my social media. I'm really honest, and I really don't care about others' opinions. So I just, you know, go for it. But a negative, there's a lot of hatred in people's hearts, a lot. Recently, a 16-year-old girl committed suicide because of mind you, he's a grown man. I think he's in his early 20s. I think they said
Like 24.
20, was it
I think
24?
it was 20.
Constantly made different profiles to bash the 16-year-old. Then goes on his social media, goes live and mocks her death. And his bio even says that he was the reason why she's dead. And it was a lot of hate in his heart. You know, there's a lot of people who are not gonna be able to respect others, and that I think that's where that's where social media is where people are able to put other people down because they feel as though that's what they want to do, or
Because there's no consequence.
there's nobody can tell them anything, so they feel like it's okay for them to go out and just hurt other people and put them down. And I feel like that's where our suicide rates are coming up, because it's not even in the homes, but it's also on social media. And this is where the school shootings come in as well. It's not just people always blame it on mental health and what's going on at home, but it's what your kids are seeing on social media and TV as a whole. So it makes absolutely no sense why there should be any type of negativity, because all positive vibes over here. You already know. But you know, it's just being able for us to take that next step into giving social media a more positive outlook for others is just continue to post positive things, continue to do what you love, express what you love. And that's through social media. And that's where the positive part comes in as well. So yeah. Go ahead, Aaliyah.
You want me to go?
RJ Lo.
Okay, so I feel like the positives of social media is that you're able to connect with some people. It's where most people get advertisements for jobs and get a job on social media and all that stuff. But then, you know, like the acting thing.
That's how Remix got it. We're sponsored through Instagram. You didn't know that sponsored? You didn't know? Okay, anyway, we'll talk about that later.
But there's a lot of negatives that come with it, like what TT said. People think that they can do a lot of things, like say mean things to people and do all sorts of things on social media, all because you're hidden behind a screen, and that no one's going to know that it's you that's doing it because you have a fake name, or it's not you really in the pictures. You're not really posting yourself in the pictures.
Catfish.
Yeah.
I love that show. Love that show.
But it really affects others. It really hurts people, like a lot of people. So that I don't really like social media. I go on there because my youth pastor is on social media, so I go on there because of that.
My youth pastor. Why you say it like that? My youth pastor on social media.
But I think there's a lot of, I feel like there's more negatives that comes to social media than positives because of the things that people do on there.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna make it quick. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the positive, like all of them did. Just how he was a bully.
He
That
was
was
a
his
bully.
name. His
That-
He
name was
put
a
that
bully.
on his bio.
that
He
was-
was like,
that was
I'm a
his
bully
name.
and I'm gonna keep on bullying. you," and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
But-
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
But I feel like the positive is finding connections, like Jayla said, finding connections with different people, and finding a safe community in social media, being able to connect with your friends and show what you're doing and like because you want your life to be known. But I think the negatives are not only people being disrespectful behind the screen and feeling like there's not going to be a consequence to them, but people bashing themselves or feeling bad about themselves because of what people feel like they need to portray on social media, or when people want to start bashing other people on social media and be like, well, I need to get this out. I'm like,
The fake.
that doesn't make any sense. I mean, this is supposed to be a safe area and you want to be accepted in this area. But with people posting different things, whether it's how their life is so perfect or how their life is crashing apart, it just becomes a negative thing. It just becomes a negative place when it's supposed to be a positive place where you can share how you feel, not bashing people when you feel upset or when you feel like they need to get,
Like you're comparing yourself.
Yeah,
You're
like
comparing
it
your
should,
life to
it feel like people make it a negative place, but yeah, not just in like the comments that they say, but like in the things that they post and what they feel has to be out there.
Which is everything.
Yeah. So yeah.
I can agree with everything you all said. I'm gonna start with the positives, the pros of social media. I would definitely say like there's a lot more extensibility. Like you could a much higher network of people. You can reach a much higher network of people than if you did it locally without like the use of social media. So that's great. That's a plus. Another thing, like you said, was expression, self-expression. Those two are probably the only two positives I can think of right now. But a negative definitely is, there will be hate on social media. There's a lot of it. Yeah, basically everything y'all just said.
Yeah, the positives I think in social media is making new friends. You can grow if you have a business. You can grow your business. Yeah, the negatives I would say bullying, people being hateful, and yeah, that's it.
So now let's dig a little deeper and don't y'all get a little quiet on me now. What do you feel as a team is a conversation that a parent needs to have with their team?
There's a lot of conversations that they need to.
There's a lot, really a lot. Like the first and obvious is possibly like, good touch, bad touch. That's probably like 5-year-old conversation. You got, this is an open space. I'm gonna just say it. You gotta talk about sex, understanding the difference of what's good and bad. You have to talk about self-worth. Definitely as Black people, we need to empower your kids and influence a strong sense of self-worth. Finances also, because that's not something that a lot of schools have. My school has it luckily, but not many schools have financial literacy. So, and that is something that is in a big lack in is everybody there? It looks like they left.
No, it's okay. You can keep going. It's fine. You're good.
Okay, so what was I just saying? Finances. Um, finances. Something. Finances.
Sorry, we froze.
It's good. It's good. I said finance. Like you need to discuss with your child like the importance and the know-hows of finances, because that is something that not all of our schools do. My school, fortunately, by my influence, does, but not many schools. Nearly all schools don't have financial literacy before a child turns 18. Right after high school, you're an adult and you're accountable for yourself. And most people, or by the time they get into college, are already in debt. And so in college, that is when you learn how to, that's how you learn how to manage your finances. But by that time, it's already too late, because you have a lifelong amount of debt, mainly from student loans or other things, or maybe your poverty mindset of, getting loans and not be able to pay them back and wanting things that you can't have. So yeah, I just went too long with finances, but there's a lot of conversations. I don't know if there's one that you want to speak of indicatively, but I think that's the only three I can think of right now. I'm gonna give other people a chance to speak.
Who?
Do you want to start? Should I start?
You should start.
Jayla needs to start.
I kind of forgot the question.
Oh my God. A conversation.
Okay.
Parents need to have with their children.
You feel mom missed out on like,
Oh, okay. So there's this. Okay.
Okay.
I feel like some of the conversations that parents should have with their kids is
This is probably shit.
yeah. Ellie, you should go. What do you think?
Okay. I feel like a conversation that needs to be had is one would definitely be finances, like Joseph said, but I think another one would be how to find your own like identity, or how to be confident in your own identity, because I feel like a lot of people try to find their identity in different things, like for example when we were just talking about social media. But I feel like if parents talk to their kids about like being open about how they feel, or not like experimenting like drugs or crazy stuff like that, but I mean like going out there and figuring out what they like, what they don't like, and being confident in what they don't like and what they like, and like being secure in themselves and not having to try to find different people who accept them or different things that accept them. Like they'll accept themselves, and that they'll be okay with just them being accepted, and they won't have to search around.
I feel it. I would say one of the conversations that adults need to have now with their kids, especially the generation we live in, is definitely finances and mental health, because that's something that people push under the rug, and they blame everything that happens in our society on mental health, and nobody's having that conversation on what mental health actually is. Coming from an experience of knowing people with, oh my God, my voice died.
Teeth?
Wow.
Real.
Wow. I don't have no more teeth, so we're just
What's
gonna,
my mind?
no. I don't know where my voice went. Sorry. Knowing that's mainly one thing that people blame on us as students and as teenagers. That's one thing that they like really push on us, is like, this has happened because of mental health. Like, this is a conversation that nobody really has, and
They're
from a
not,
person,
like, defining it.
yeah, they're not really like putting it out there, like depression and anxiety and social anxiety and all that stuff. And like, it's coming from a person who seen people with that type of stuff and like watching it happen, and really trying to understand, knowing that wasn't a conversation that I had growing up, and seeing it happen to like siblings and even myself, just trying to understand what it actually is, and then having a person come to me like, this is what it actually is, and then having that boundary of more understanding of this is what it is. And I mean, there's nothing we can change about us having these issues, but it's just something that needs to be talked more about, because because it's not people. That's like also where the social media part comes from, is like people's putting out there like all like everything's going on because of mental health, and they have this type of like thing, or like this or that. Like it's just one conversation that needs to be more in depth about, especially watching it in our schools. Like that, a school and social media don't make it better when it comes to mental health at all. So just knowing that kids can actually go home and have that conversation with an adult will be really nice.
I feel like a conversation adults should have with their children is about relationships, like friendships and like having a boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever like you're into.
You do have those conversations. You're not dating until you're 50. That's a great conversation. No.
But I mean, like
at least 45. Give me
Yeah.
something to work with. I'm like, come on.
But at least like when our mother had those conversations with us, and she told us that we couldn't date in high school and middle school and all that stuff, like we understood and we stuck by that rule. But then we're looking at other kids that are in our high school and middle school, and they're dating other people, and it's very
It's literally insane.
it's a
Like
very interesting sight to see.
we
Yeah.
should have been there last year.
Yeah,
That's it.
especially when like people don't understand what relationships like are, or what the point of getting into certain relationships. Like people want to just date just to date. Oh yeah, well he's on my side now. Oh well, I have someone else now. He's just,
Wait,
but they don't want to really build a connection with
But
someone.
too.
in order for even adults to talk about relationships, they need to talk about self-worth before anything. Because
I know what's coming.
this society we live in now is ridiculous with relationships. It's so disgusting. I cannot stand it. It makes me upset
Say things like that.
because it's honestly the truth. Like, before you get into a relationship, know your self-worth, please, because that is something that you need to understand yourself before anybody else can tell you what your worth is. Because just jumping into a relationship and then having that person show your worth isn't really your worth, and you shouldn't be in that relationship at all.
And the funny thing is, it's not just a teen problem.
It's not a teen problem. It's not. It's not.
And the gloves are off.
We're gonna move it on, so we stop talking.
It's like, wait, I was gonna add on to what Aaliyah was saying, because I actually met a person when I was helping someone get a date. They're together now. It's so cute. They're so adorable.
Jayla.
But I was telling them to go have dinner, like at a restaurant and stuff like that. And then this person came up to me who was like, why would you tell them that? What would they do, like eating dinner? Like they're gonna start talking and then they're just like not gonna talk anymore. It's like go to the movies or something like that. And I'm like, you go to dinner to learn more about the person.
Come on.
If you're not learning more about the person, it's not really here.
It's
It's not really dating. You go into a relationship, you start dating because you want to learn more about that person, so that eventually at one point or another that they can be a like potential person that you're want to marry. It's not just you're dating someone to date someone. If you really just want to date someone, it's called being friends. You just stay friends. You can learn about them there. You don't have to date them.
That burned a little bit.
Ugh.
That burned.
Wait, where's the cold water? Apply cold water to burn.
Apply ice. Okay.
She said don't hold anything back, so I was just being honest.
You got the first aid kit, y'all. Just
Honestly.
saying. Ambulance in the comments.
I have a very
Yeah,
strong
but-
opinion about that. Sorry.
We'll pass it on. We're sorry.
We're
We're
sorry.
sorry.
We apologize.
You know, I want to branch off with that. Dating is something that every parent should have with their child. It's not something I've had with my mother that often. You know, not that she's a bad mother. It's just, well, it's personally me. I'm an independent person, and you know, I don't share everything, especially with my mom. But I would definitely discuss the limitations of dating, like first and foremost age, but then understanding when you're going too far, because I always say that, and well, self-control and discipline when dating, because we know that people have kids at a really young age because they don't have the self-control or discipline to stop themselves when they're going too far. Like go into a girl's house or staying over. I don't know how parents can allow their kids to stay over someone else's house. I would never have that liberty.
No, thank you. No, thank
I don't
you.
know how. And then you wonder why you're in poverty. First off, let's go back to finances. You wonder why you're in poverty because you have a child at such a young age, and they call for a lot of money. They call for a lot. So your limitations and self-control and discipline is something that I feel should definitely be discussed involving, relationship and love, or what you think is love.
I feel like parents should talk about, mental health and just life itself, things they've been through. Talk about like what's going on in the world to keep ourselves conscious of what's going on, like what to do if a cop pulls us over, and I don't know, but just like stuff that they've been through, or just stuff to keep us more aware of our surroundings in public, to keep us safe. Yeah, that's basically it.
Branching off of what he just said, once again, not philosophy, theology is something that definitely should be discussed. I'm sure especially Black mothers, they make sure your child is Christian or whatever your mother is. Religion should definitely be discussed, and understanding the difference of each religion, and understanding the doctrine, and understanding the philosophy of each religion, and like the practices and why we practice those things, and also what is going around, how our religion relates to what is going on in the world today, and understanding not just reading scripture, but actually understanding it, and understanding what happened over, and history definitely should be discussed. Our history, especially as Black people, should be discussed, because it's pushed aside, and it's pushed aside because they know how great we are, and they don't want us. Everybody's fighting to be better than somebody else. So as a culture, I feel like parents need, and that's actually, I would say people are doing it like pretty adequately just in this modern days. Black people, we do understand our power. You see it on social media. There's a lot of pages, encouraging Black power, and Black females, and understanding, the value that we have. Not saying that we're better than somebody, but understanding that we are better than what we seem to be, or how we're being treated. Yeah. That's
I
not
have a
it.
crazy thing to add. Parents should they should not teach their kids how to cook. You should talk to your kids about how to cook. They should not leave the house just knowing how to boil some water for ramen, man.
Aaliyah, that's gonna
Pop
be
some
you.
toast in the toaster. No.
They should not know how to burn rice.
They burn rice. I just feel like there's a lot. I mean, not with like we were taught, like as we were growing up, we were working our way into the kitchen so that we know how to like make our own meals and everything else. But I feel like there's a lack of parents teaching their kids how to cook, so that when they leave the house, they don't know
Spend
what to
their money
do. So
on
they're
the ramen.
so like the finances get messed up because all they're buying is junk and ordering out and everything else because they don't know how to go home and figure out what to do with the pot, the pan.
The spoon, or the fork, or
the water, the noodles, boil. Like I don't feel like a lot of this upcoming generation know how to take care of themselves in that aspect. Basic necessities.
Before you go out.
Oh yeah,
the
that
world.
and taxes. Let's talk about taxes. Taxes and cooking. Let's just have that in one class.
I don't
Just all
know
together.
how to do taxes
Me either.
So, yeah.
I'm like, you can't talk about taxes if you don't even know.
That's why
I
I'm talking about
definitely want to say something about taxes.
Texas.
I'm pretty sure we've all heard that phrase saying that they're trying to make the rich richer and the poor poorer. It's it to an extent it is true, but it's with the what's that called? When you do taxes, like business owners are able, to say like, I paid for it. Like, you know what? I'm gonna leave it alone because I don't know too much.
I'm over here like, oh yeah, that thing, yeah, the one.
Don't have a guinea
But
pig.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa. I'm sorry. No, go ahead. Never mind. No filter. So in financial literacy, understanding where your money is, so with finances basically. But with financial literacy, I learned that there's all these, like TD Bank, which is coded the most convenient bank, has controversies. They open people's open new bank accounts and start new credit cards with people's social securities and things like that. So I would say you definitely need to discuss your options when it comes to where your money's going, how you save it, like savings bonds and things for the future. Definitely, because a lot of people start out being adult and responsible for themselves without an understanding.
yeah.
Okay, so last question. Y'all ready?
It's probably not the last question.
No,
Sure.
it is. Last question.
No, we're not ready.
Yeah.
Standing in your greatness, meaning not allowing anyone to tell you that what you are good at is not important, that what you love is not of importance. What does that look like for you? And where do you see people having the most opposition, the most pushback when it comes to just standing in your greatness? So my favorite color is yellow, and I want to wear yellow every day of the week.
Me.
Who's gonna, where do you see somebody saying, oh, well, you can't wear yellow every day? Why would you do that? Where do you see that pushback coming from?
I will buy anything yellow if I want to.
But
And let somebody tell me otherwise. You see this? Yellow. My bed is yellow. Don't ever tell me that yellow is not important, okay, people of America?
Does that mean you want to start the question because you just talking?
No, but you can start it.
You said where we get the most pushback in standing in our greatness.
Yeah.
Oh, can I start, please?
Okay, you can start.
Oh,
Teachers.
Ooh.
I have known so many teachers. Well, I've heard stories of so many teachers who bash students, where students are like, "Oh, I want to do this and this and this." They're like, "You might want to rethink that. You might want to do something else because it's not going to lead you anywhere." I've heard of tons of stories of teachers doing it, of like counselors doing it, school counselors. I heard
They do
students
that.
do it.
Mhm.
It's terrible. I'm like, the whole school in general, there's a lot of people who put you down, but then you got to realize you need to surround yourself with people who are going to lift you up.
I will say everywhere. Social media, schools, people that you live with on a consistent basis, like pretty much everyone who just decides they want to put others down. Those negative mindseted people is where it comes from, honestly. It's like Aaliyah. Like even it's not like, I don't even know how to word it, but it's everywhere. Like it's sad to know
Like
that
different people depending. Well, okay, so on top of that, why do you think that people are like that though?
because they have people that say they can't do things. Like there's a lot of, as again, schools, the teachers always tell students, when we were little kindergartners, they'd be like, you can do anything you want in life, and then you'd be like, I want to be the president. Like, yeah, you get like, they don't tell you anything until you get older and you realize I don't want to be no president. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah, I should never said that. Like, you look at your kindergarten papers and it says you want to be a police officer, but you're looking, you're like, I don't want to do that. Like, you have different passions. And it's honestly the truth. Why are you looking like that? It's the truth.
I'm just looking past.
Because it always changes, but like, even in the foster care system, it's so much, and that whole entire system, me being through it, it was like they literally told a child that she was not going to be what she wanted to be. And what was the last time I touched her? 2 weeks ago? And she just got a scholarship for the college she wanted to go to, that the college they said she couldn't go to. And I'm like, all right, you go ahead, big ball. And like, okay, honestly. And it's so sad to know that it's mainly the people we look up to are the people who always try to put us down. Are like, no, you should do something else, or this really isn't your passion, but you should just stand for what you go for. Like, nobody should ever tell you you're wrong for going after what you love. Nobody should ever tell you you're wrong for going out there and being yourself and staying in your ground and knowing what you want to do and who you want to become, because people base that off of your past and there's no reason for that. And they look at you and like, she can't do that, he can't do that, but you're capable of doing anything you set your mind to. So what's the point of letting people put you down if you know you're capable of doing something?
It hurt, TT. It hurt.
I tell my friends this all the time, so it's nothing new.
Okay.
I feel like an issue as such definitely comes from the domino effect of a fixed mindset, like you all said, like, because one person had a fixed mindset, then someone else should. So like you said, if there's a more prominent figure, a more influential figure who has a fixed mindset, that can go down to like a mentee or something. So I have a mentor, and if I look up to him, and if he told me that I'm not able to do something, I definitely wouldn't, because I would say I have a very abundant mindset. But let's just say it was someone else, that they could take his or her word for it, because they have power and influence, and mess up their entire future. And I would say that a fixed mindset is toxic. It really is, because it has control over people's decisions and their way of thinking. So yeah, I think issue like this mainly comes from one person's, or the domino effect of a fixed mindset.
It was like one time. No, there is this one of my friends. Like, I have shaved sides, as you can see. Like, my hair up top is like in this weird bun thingy, but like I have shaved sides. And one of my friends, she would constantly be asking me, "Hey, when are you growing your hair back? Hey, don't you think you should grow your hair back? Hey, when are you growing your hair back?" And I'm like, one day I was like tired of her asking. I'm like, "Why do you keep on asking me?" She was like, "Oh, well, I liked it better when you had all your hair." Or she'd be like, "Oh, well, I liked it better when you did this to your hair." Or I'm like, I don't remember asking your opinion. And because you feel like you should always wear your hair straight does not mean I should always wear my hair straight, or that doesn't mean that I need to be a full-headed hair woman to be accepted, or to love my hair, or to have other people accept me for who I am. I mean, I am self-contained. I am confident in myself, and I'm confident in my hair being shaved, and I'm confident in my hair when it's in a poof, it's in twist, and I don't understand. It's like she was so fixed on, well, how can you not have a full head of hair and be okay? How can you? Oh, did you knock it out again?
I did not knock it out.
Well, she was like, how can you wear your hair like that and be okay? And it just got me upset, because she didn't understand how I was okay with myself being the way I am. And she felt like if I changed, so she could see, so she could understand, so she could be like, "Oh yeah, well, you're better now," then I'd be okay. But I'm fine just the way I am. And I just feel like there needs to be more of that. in society, and there needs to be more of that in people's hearts. Because if I did listen to what she was saying and everything else, I'd be like, oh, well, my hair isn't growing back. Oh, my hair is too short. Oh, my hair. And I'd be upset and obsessed with the whole idea because I wasn't confident in myself and because I wouldn't be standing in my own greatness. So, yeah, that being in, so going back to the question, so that people not allowing you to stand in your own greatness can be in certain relationships that you have, can be in certain places that you go, just the general atmosphere of that place, or the people that go to that place. There, it is, like Tiandra said, it is everywhere. So that means more people need to grow in that self-confidence. More people need to grow in knowing who they are, knowing their identity, know what they're comfortable with, and know what they're okay with. And if people aren't going to be okay, then they need to know how to exclude them. They need to know how to not want to change themselves just to be accepted by someone who they might not know 2 years ago. Like,
Or down the road.
down the road at all. They just need to find confidence in themselves, because there might not be a certain designated safe place that people won't think you need to change something about yourself. So we need to find in ourselves that safe place so that we don't feel like we have to change for the world to accept us. We're like, no, this is us. You're gonna like it or not. It's just me. And if there's a problem, then you can leave. You know where the door is, you know?
Accurate.
I'm gonna drink my tea.
So like what I was gonna say, it was related to Leah when she was talking about her hair. I just actually started wearing my hair out like this this year. When I was in elementary school and middle school, I would always get like picked on because my hair was different. I was different from everyone else because I had this natural long curly hair. So I would ask my mom, hey mom, can you straighten my hair for today? Can you like put some stuff in this so it's like permanently straight? Or like I always have it in braids or twists and no one could really see my hair. And then when I was in middle school, people actually started like throwing stuff into my hair, and it got to a point where I got so upset that I seriously like kind of had like an outburst in class and told them to stop picking on me. But and then I put my hair in ponytails because I just hated my hair. I hated what people saw in me when they saw my hair. But then this year I actually I started becoming more confident in my hair because I'm like, who cares what they think, because it's my hair. like it's my hair, it's me.
Gorgeous hair.
I'm like, I came to school one day when I had my headband on, and someone like seriously cursed at me. It was like, what the F does she have on her head? And I'm like, it didn't faze me. I was just like, it's my headband. Like, I love it.
Hey,
red.
do you
Like
want
the
to
next
borrow
day I
it?
wore the same thing.
It's
Like, it's mine. I love it.
I mean,
I
hey,
have extra if you want.
don't
Honestly,
worry. I will accept you. It's
that's
fine.
where it's at.
I mean,
It's like
you don't have to be jealous.
Exactly. People get bashed on every little thing. Like us as being African Americans, like they think about what happened way back then before we were even born. They use that as something that they can just use against us. And then even on top of that, it doesn't even matter. It goes for everybody. Skin color, hair, your outfits. Like me, my outfits,
Aesthetic.
I'm an aesthetic dresser, and it's just I always put stuff together. Like I legit would wear like 2 shirts. Like it's just it's like I would have a long sleeve shirt on, like I have a striped long sleeve shirt on, and then like a black or white shirt over. Like it's literally honestly, if y'all cannot understand, like just look it up. Like it's right there. And people are literally like, why is she wearing that? Like, who told her to go outside? It's what I want to do. This is how I express myself, just through dressing and music. So it's like, and sometimes photography. I mean, photography helps a lot, honestly. But it's just the fact that people nowadays bash others for every little thing. Like literally, somebody can have a ketchup stain, and here goes the whole school wants to join in on their little ketchup stain. Like for what? What is the reason? Like you constantly want to keep putting people down, and it's for what? Because somebody else. If I want to walk around the school with a little ketchup stain, let me be great. Like
I'm like, there's people who walk around with designer pants that actually have mud on them.
exactly.
Yes.
They
paid $500
Exactly.
for.
Exactly. Or these little Gucci belts, or Louis Vuitton belts. Like,
Are from the Chinese store? Oh, my bad. You're right.
it's
You want
really,
some tea?
it's so,
Oh, really?
it always gets me to know that people are just so, like, people are always out of their comfort zone and have to try to oppress everybody else who, at this point, I got 2 years until I graduate, so I don't even care anymore. It's like, once you get to high school, even before high school, you should not care what others have to say. You need to be able to be confident in yourself to understand this is what I want to do. What's the point of caring about what other people think? We listen to K-pop.
Yes.
You know how many people, like, so many people have told me you should be sent to Korea. Oh, she's a weirdo. I think something's wrong. Like, it's just insane because nobody wants to. In order for somebody else to stand in their greatness, they want to put other people down. For what?
I actually had first time like I
What
felt
is the
teaching
point?
blind when people were like, "Oh, you should go back to Korea." You know, so
Honestly,
that actually
like,
happened to me too.
literally,
And I'm like,
people
what?
are like, you should just be sent to Korea, and I'm like, send me.
Send me.
Because next, no, exactly. Like, next year,
Send
I will
down.
be going to school in Korea for the whole summer, so I'm not even stressed about it. Like, I'm gonna do what I love, regardless if anybody likes it or not. At the end of the day, I'm gonna walk across that stage with that diploma in my head with my name on it, if you like it or not.
And just
So
have,
I'm
like,
gonna
a
continue.
talk.
I'm gonna continue to stand in my greatness, rather if somebody likes it or not. So, with that being said, I feel as though everybody should be able to be comfortable in themselves to understand what they love and what they want to do at the end of the day, and nobody should ever tell them they can't do something. That's just my opinion.
With you all mentioning, your ways of expression and how it was not accepted by the world. I don't know why I didn't even bring this up the first time, but I'm sure you all know this. And I have one seeing eye, right? And one of them is closed. I was born with something. My eye was all white, and my mother, who's in the summit, had it removed when I was 2, and had it replaced with a prosthetic. Now I appreciate her for doing that, but I feel like she did it because she was afraid that I would get the attention from the world, and like, why your eye like that, why you look like that, like, you thought I wouldn't be accepted. And I appreciate her concern, but throughout the years, it wasn't until I became a teenager that I started to really notice that I never really cared. And I wore a prosthetic growing up until I was 14. I'm like, for the longest, like, I wore a prosthetic, a fake eye. And I wore it because I was told to. I'm like, you grow up knowing that when you go to the bathroom, you got to sit down on the toilet. Just like, when I have an eye, make sure I take it out, clean it, and put it back in. When I was 14, I lost it. And I'm like, wait, why even get a new one? It's like, it's uncomfortable in the first place. It's not me. It's me and a marble. I'm like, wait, why am I wearing this in the first place? I'm better off without it. And I'm like, and then after a while, I'm like, this is so comfortable. I would have done it sooner if I realized why I was doing it. I wasn't doing it because I wanted to, but because I was told to. And of course, you can expect that I did get questions from people, and I still get questions. Maybe once or twice a day. People look at me on the train, like, in question, and I'm like, if you have a question, you can ask me. Or sometimes I'll just stare them back, because if you can stare, I can stare too. But yeah, I mean, it's just, if I didn't have an abundant mindset, and if I wasn't accepting of myself, back to that self-worth thing, if I wasn't aware of my own self-worth, I would have kept wearing that prosthetic. I would have kept being uncomfortable. I would have had to go every year and wait 8 hours to get a new prosthetic made because I was uncomfortable with who I already was. And that's why I feel like self-worth is definitely something that needs to be discussed. And kind of insensitivity to the negative mindset, to the pessimistic and fixed mindset. That is something that I feel like should be encouraged, because it can hurt someone and it can change someone big time.
I don't find myself caring about what other people say. I'm very confident in what I want to do. Sometimes, I used to think and say to myself, well, you can't do it. And then, I would think further and be like, oh, you can. I'll just keep trying. I don't really find myself caring about what other people say. And I don't really remember anybody telling me I can't do something. But yeah, I'm really confident in what I want to do. If I start something, I'm going to finish it. If I can't do it, then I'm going to keep trying until I get it.
I have a question.
Yeah, and even back to the topic with the eye, even to show how comfortable I am, I'm able to laugh about it with other people. Like if we're in class and the teacher's like, "I need your eyes," I'm like, "I only have one," and people are laughing. I'll laugh with them. Now I know the difference, people laughing at me and with me, but to show how comfortable I am with myself, I can joke about it. I can joke about my circumstances because I'm accepted of them. Oh yeah, that's a little bit about me and my self-worth and acceptance.
Okay, so what do you think? I don't know. I can't see the comments anymore. This is my own question. Like, how do y'all think people? Oh no, you're fine. I don't know how people. Well, I want to know what y'all think people should do to like build their confidence, or how you think you build your own confidence, and how people should go in trying to build their own confidence or trying to find their own identity. Like, what do you personally think could contribute to them finding their own personality? You know?
Go ahead.
Um, I would say for me, building my own confidence, just knowing that no matter what you do, even if you do great things, like look at the celebrities now, like they're famous, they got money, cars, everything. And knowing that they still, people still always have something negative to say. Just knowing that no matter what I do in life, even if it's the greatest thing in the world, I can be the next person to walk across the moon and people would still have something negative to say. Just knowing that no matter what I do, there's not gonna always be people to have my back on it. But just knowing that I'm doing something that I love, and just knowing that this is where it's taking me, and knowing that this is what I want to do. There's like me going to Seattle like for college. It was like a good 2 friends that were not happy about it.
No.
At all. And like me saying, oh, well, next summer, I'm going. So like, cause I was telling them like, this is my last summer with you guys. Like we need to spend it. We need to have some, like, just have little moments together because I'll be going to school in Korea next summer. And one of them were just not happy about it. And just knowing that no matter what I love, there's not going to be people who are always going to like it because they're going to have different opinions. I mean, everybody has their own opinion, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But just knowing that their opinion should never affect what I love to do at all. And that's the tea that I have done.
What was the question? Can you repeat?
Like, what do you think people should do, or how do you think people should build their own confidence and like their own personal identity?
Build it.
Be
Like,
you.
what's your like? How did you? It was like you can talk about like how you build your own confidence and your own personality, and how you think other people could try to approach building their personality and building their self confidence.
Did we get some calls?
Yeah. How I started building my own, build my confidence and building like who I am was I started just like doing little activities like painting or like dancing, making dances and stuff like that. And I feel like my mother was able to realize that I was being less comfortable like with who I was when I stopped painting and I stopped dancing. And I started being a little bit more depressed. And she told me to keep on doing those things. And it's what fully made me who I am right now, because now I'm more confident because I'm able to go into like painting, stuff like that to express myself.
I feel like we discussed this already. I feel like the first step to solving a lack of self-confidence is understanding how much you're worth. Um, Self-worth is intrinsic. Like you can't add it, you can't take it away. You have self-worth regardless of the situation. So if you know that you have it, regardless of how regardless of how it's presented to the world, whether it be through one eye, whether it be through curly hair, or whether it be through short hair, you have self-worth. And I think that's the first step to having self-confidence and accepting yourself.
That's where we go, bro. Oh, well, I don't know. I was just thinking that people. Well, I was just expecting that some people would say, "Oh, well, they need to go through hard times and they need to go through certain situations that build character, and they need to struggle and they need to go through all this crazy stuff." But I feel like simply being in a place where they feel accepted, where they feel loved, like simple love actions, love being like expressed to other people. I feel like just someone being comforted with love in a certain situation, like being comforted in general, would help them to uh, accept who they are and find out who they are and be confident in it. Just having a support system, having a support circle that love and care for them, and that they know that they can trust them to come to them when they are feeling like heard, or when they feel not enough or something like that. Just having that comfort and support and love.
I feel like when you said like people need to go through struggles or hard times, like I feel like everybody's been through a lot. Not even just recently with like everything going on in like society, but just past. Like my past wasn't the best, and that's completely fine. And I can look back and say, I don't want to be like that, but I always knew that I was never going to be like my past. So I don't like when you said that. I was sitting there, I was like, I don't understand why people always say you need to go through a hard time in order to become who you are today. And I'm like, I look back at my past and I laugh because I'm like, I am so far from that.
Yeah.
And I've always been so far from that. So I don't understand. Like when I tell people, I'm like always open about me being adopted. So like people are like, oh, well, didn't that create you today? No, not really. Like the adoption process, like I can say thank God for me because it took a long time. And like I don't know. It's just I would always when people always said that, I'm like, well, I look back and I'm like, so they were there and I'm over here and I'm not understanding why people use my past as me being a strong, independent person. And I'm like, I always had a strong opinion when I was little. I always spoke up when things happened. Like I never kept quiet. Like people are like, you're so open about having anxiety and depression and being adopted. Like why? Like it's not for attention. It's just me being like, yeah.
Straight up. That's who I am.
Right. Like
Exactly.
this is where it came to. Like it's nothing. Nobody should ever be ashamed of just speaking out about anything. Like nobody should ever hold that back. And I feel like that's where people don't really understand as teenagers, because we're so quick to judge each other and not quick enough to show action or showing love to another person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it's crazy because I'm like, hey, I am who I am, and it's not because of the adoption process. It's not because of what my biological parents did or why I have depression or why I have anxiety. It's just like, this is me. I can't change my past, but I can most definitely change my future to not be my past, so my past won't come back.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's a little bit about me. I don't do anything a lot, so.
I always say that. Like I have no control over what happened to me and what other people chose to do to me, but I can change how that affects me. I always say it's great to be aware of your emotions, but not let them control you, because your emotions are way too topsy-turvy to base your life or yourself off of. So I don't wholeheartedly agree with you.
That's like when me and Jayla were younger. We were molested by our stepbrother. But like when you see like the general personalities of people who are molested, and not only molested, but having our dad not present, having daddy issues, being promiscuous, growing up to be a stripper, growing up to not knowing your self-worth, going in abusive relationships and everything else. And me and Jayla, like growing up, we've grown to like not be like that. We've grown to not want to pursue every guy that passes our way. We've grown to not feel terrible about ourselves. We've grown to not want to be dependent on some random guy that comes up into our lives. And that we are not trying to say, oh well, yeah, we've just overcome that, because it's gone through a lot of work. It's gone through a lot of struggle, because like building that and knowing that we don't want to be like that, we've had to keep on we have to keep on going, and we had to keep on reminding ourselves of who we want to be, because we don't want to be defined by some statistics that come from people who are molested, people who don't have their dads in their lives. We wanted to be examples of what you can become out of some traumatic experience when you were little. And we didn't want to be held back. We wanted to be like individuals who are confident in themselves and who know their self, even with traumatic things that happen in their lives and things that are supposed to like shape them. We didn't want to be shaped like that.
Even that, like, it's insane just to know that people being open about what they've gone through. People, even as I look at it now, like some teens use their past as the reason why it's holding them back from what they want to do. And it's like, that should never stop you. Like, just knowing that, yeah, I've been through a lot when I was little, and knowing that like dad wasn't present. Did I say present?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I said something else. I don't know where my mind was going. And like, depending on mom passed away, now depending on the foster care system, and then having the foster care system fail you, and then depending on sister, and then like all that. And it's like, yeah, I've been through some times, but
honey,
I always realized, like, even knowing now that like even before this all happened, I was always a goofball. Like, I was always really, like, I honestly, and I still am a goofball. Like, I'm like the class, well, I'm not really a class clown because I don't talk to anybody in my classes, barely, because I'm just really I don't like those kids in my classes, I'll be honest. Let's pray that next year my schedule is amazing.
Honor student lifestyle.
Clarity, we knew each other all our lives. We just recently adopted Tiana though.
Yeah,
we knew each other all our lives.
Yeah, I mean, they're okay. Like, it's so weird because their grandma adopted me.
Yeah.
And then after she passed away, I got put back into the system, and now their mom adopted me last summer. So you know, we're just going down. I've been adopted into the same family twice. So
now I have to adopt them first. But yeah.
No. But just knowing that your past should never stop you, or you should never use your past as a reason of why you stopped doing what you love.
Yeah.
Because I'm still a goofball. I don't really care. I'm really open about everything. I don't like.
You were
I've
so
always
much meaner when you were younger. When you share your Uno cards.
Right?
Because they were my Uno cards. Why do I have to share?
We were your
Uno cards? All right. And what does that?
Right here though. right here.
Uno cards
Right now.
Uno
cards.
They weren't even Uno cards.
They're
They were goldfish cards. So I'm so confused on why that was even like a conversation. Anywho's, just, you know, never use something that happened in the past of why you are who you are. I would say that my past shaped me to who I am today. I wouldn't say I'm thankful for my past, but I would say that it
You
did
accept.
bring a lot of different outlooks on life, and I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I wanted to branch off of what Talia said about being a statistic.
Thank you, Drake.
Can you hear me?
Me some tissues.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I want to branch off of what Talia said about being a statistic. I was physically abused by my father, like brutally, and I'm pretty sure a lot of, well, I don't know if you've heard, but a lot of people say the abused become the abuser, and that is something that I wouldn't say I'm dealing with, but I'm definitely giving considerate thought to. Now I love kids, and I have a huge patience for kids, but a lot of people, not a lot of people, but people say like I need to watch out with my kids that I don't beat them or abuse them and I don't feel like I am. I mean, I have a huge love for children. I feel like we should be like children when it comes to having an imaginative, open mindset and like being like children, just being innocent. And so yeah, that's another example in my life that where, and I worked with kids during the summer, and not once did I feel the need to beat them. I mean, they didn't listen, but I didn't feel like I needed to beat them or anything. So yeah, that's just another example of me, like, overcoming my past. And like you said, I wouldn't say that. Well, I would say that my past shaped me because I use my past as a reason to do better. I mean, if I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth, I wouldn't feel the need to get a job. If I wouldn't feel the need to go out because I could just get what I want from my parents. But my past is the reason why I feel like I need to do better. I need to do better for my kids. I need to be better than what was done to me and prove that I can be better than my circumstances. My circumstances don't define who I am, but they make me better than what my past was. The spirit of my past. I want to be better than that.
Totally agree.
They're over here cheering you on in the comments, Joseph. They're like, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so
All right, can you stop crying?
She's crying.
She's like crying.
She's
even
like
more and crying.
walking around crying. She's like, my baby.
okay. All right.
Can we look at my note that's next
Thank
week?
everybody for watching. I can't even come back on the screen.
Oh wait, Joseph, can you read are you able to read the
The
comments?
comments, yeah, I'm seeing them.
Okay. I was about to say.
You're probably like comments. I didn't even know we had comments.
No.
I really didn't think we did either until I was like reading because I wasn't really paying attention.
I was paying attention.
But it's always a good it's always a good feeling to know that other people understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that there is people like you.
Honestly.
And people like you.
Yeah. And your brother.
And your brother.
Even when he was like quiet half of the time. He was just chilling. When he turned his camera off, it was PNB Rock with like a long giraffe.
I was crying.
I use that as a meme. FYI, I'm the meme queen in the household. So like,
she's just a meme. No queen on the end, just a meme.
I really am a meme. I'm such a meme. I quote every meme, every vine. If you send me something in the group chat, you will get a meme as a response. So.
Thank you for watching.
But yeah, I appreciate all of your time, all your expression, your openness and receptiveness to myself, my brother. Appreciate it. And it's a pleasure to be on
Thank
here.
you.
Oh, I feel special now. People understand. And I'm really grateful for you to like open up because then I was like, wow, okay. We're vulnerable today. Like we're going out there. So it really helped to understand that there's more people who, because usually it's just us three talk about random things and we never had like
weird.
more teens talk.
Let me sing at the end. It gets really weird.
Yeah, so it's really, I'm so thankful for you and your brother coming on and actually sharing your opinions and having very strong opinions about things that we have strong opinions on. So it's really helpful.
I would like to, yeah, again, thank you both for coming in and talking with us so that we're not weirdos. And also, thank you to all the viewers who sat through this long, almost 2 hour.
We were just throwing shade,
just talking,
just throwing a little shade.
just being loud and look, yeah, just talking. Thank you for sitting in here and supporting your youth and watching us talk about our opinions.
So share this out with a team that's
needs
a
this?
team. Either teen, adults, everybody actually needs to hear this
Well,
because there's a lot.
Yeah. Well, we don't have any like extra information. I mean, she has all that, but she's still trying to like pull herself together.
Out of these.
So, hey, you have any extra information we should say?
Is she okay? I can help out.
Yeah, she's just a little teary.
She's having a mommy moment.
Yeah, she needs some tissue.
Is that my book? Please be my book.
Is
I'm
it?
sorry, our mail came in and I was
We have
hoping
mail.
for this book to
Sorry.
come in. It's my
Still
book.
looking for a Christmas gift.
But yeah,
Please let me something from that.
It's probably not my book. It's not my book.
Is it a Christmas gift?
okay, let's focus.
Like, oh, squirrel.
So yeah, just thank you for coming in and thank you
No
for
problem.
supporting us and watching us as we talk about our opinions.
It's not a problem.
Visa, you're supposed to be doing this. We don't do the outro.
I know.
So I want to thank you so much for coming in. This is the World Voice Tele Summit. And if you could turn your head, perfect. Hey, sound man. Okay, great. So I want to thank you all for stepping in and saying yes. You young folks have just, I know all the audience. But I'm going to do my crying afterwards because this is amazing to me. You all stepped in, you said yes, one, to do this on a Saturday. Teen said yes on a Saturday. But you all said yes. You were open, you were honest, you were truthful. No bars hold. No bars hold, none. So I thank you and I applaud you. So in the midst of all of you, you have your own identities, your own personalities, your own you, and that was delivered. So we thank you. You have brought a great asset to this World Voice League Telesummit because you showed your voices. Thank you.
Not a problem.
So I want to say goodbye. Is she all right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's coming. She got it together.
Okay, good. So
That was okay. Okay, now that I have got my life in order, I'm just like, wow, y'all, that's our teens. That's our babies. That's look at what they're able to do. Look at how they're able to share and eloquently, you know, put their voice out there. Man. And this is day 23. We still got what? 5 more days? Thank you all for sharing it out. Thank you for it being in the comments. I'm going to go back and let them read the comments. We appreciate you guys. And until next time, guys, don't forget to press it out. See ya.